This is Jay from Cedar City, Utah, outside the Home Depot. Today's kind of a special episode. I want to introduce you to a man named Marshall. The reason why I want you to meet Marshall and see what he's doing is it isn't so much what he's doing, since everyone in the world seems to be doing it now. It's more of the tenacity and the, I guess it's just the follow through. It always impresses me when I see this. We're going in a hole, hang on.
Okay.
That's okay, we're in a hole. It's okay, it's okay. Okay, that was a lot quicker than I thought it was. We are cooking up some bird's eye. Looks pretty good so far. Should be a few minutes before this is really good. We can't go with chains. We gotta just drag her up the hill. We'll worry about chains later. We call this a CTC, which stands for cargo trailer conversion, or cargo trailer camper, or cargo trailer crap, whatever you want to call it. It has all kinds of names. In case you're wondering what 4-week-old poop looks like after it's been chemically treated, and there's your answer. A month to 17 children, I would have thought you might have had like 30 of those cards.
Oh, this is just for 2 days?
The trailer would generate the electricity and send it into the vehicle.
Yeah.
That you could go forever with that. I know.
Idea, so.
Especially with gas being what it is now, that would be so cool.
Yeah. Oh, so speaking of like the prices.
Yes, I'm curious.
Me away. I was just talking to this other van lifer. So the average home here in Utah is $250,000.
Okay. And that's actually cheap for some places.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. And so this cost me about $5,000 for the trailer I bought used.
Okay.
And it's only going to be like $2,000 for this remodel. That's astonishing to me.
Now again, keep in mind, we have to say this, he is saving a lot of money by not doing plumbing, propane, and electrical.
Yeah.
That easily can add up real fast.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But you know, with the van, it's been like a similar thing. Yeah, I haven't had, like, it was a similar conversion. Saved a lot of money that way, and it's worked really well for me. So yeah, I like that simple conversion.
So with this, the van, we didn't see the van, but the van, did you said simple conversion, so you didn't do like van lifers do where they rip out the walls, insulate and electrical the walls. You said you kept it very simple.
Yeah, it was bare when I got it.
Okay. So it was already for a process for building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, like kind of a similar build to this. But just the curvatures and things, dealing with that, it just took a lot longer.
Oh, vans are...
Yeah.
I've seen so many beautiful conversions and how they made those, and then you see the price tag they put them on the end, and you realize what must have gone into them.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so we're looking at like $7,000 for something like this, and
now that doesn't include your solar, correct?
Does not include the
because
solar.
that price will add up fast, real quick there. Yes.
And you know that's variable on what your needs are, but.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just, you know, it's astonishing to me that you can have a living space for that cheap. I love that. Like, that's just so cool to me. Yeah, it's just fascinating.
So if you were to say anything, anyone who might be watching this video, who may be at a house, who may have the 2 cars and the pool and the garage and the boat, and they're thinking, wow, that could be me, that could be my family, I could get into a trailer, I could get into a van or whatever, what would you say to them honestly based on your experiences?
Yeah, so I think, you know, honestly, like for me, it absolutely works.
Right.
And, you know, I still see it as kind of like an experiment.
Sure.
Because it is kind of like, you know, it's a different way of living, so I wanted to experiment with it. It is working really well for me.
Right.
And so I don't know if it'll work well for everyone and what their needs are, but... you know, I'll go back to like pricing and things. Like there's apartments in New York City and like Hong Kong and things like that.
Like closets.
Yeah.
Literally closets in apartments.
Yeah. And they're this big, and you know, people pay for that. And so as far as like a livable space, you know, it's very doable. And there's a lot that goes into it. Finding where you're going to put it is a big deal. You have all that worked out ahead of time. Given the alternative and the amount you save, like, it's just staggering. So, it's a fascinating experiment. I really think there could definitely be a future for this type of just mainstreaming this type of living situation. So
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Huh.
So,
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I think I'm just blown away with it.
And just real quick, let's cover, how are you powering, like, your, all your tools and everything? How are you cutting? Like, I don't hear no generator running or anything.
Yeah,
It's
so that's a
really
lithium battery
quiet.
back here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Just one battery?
yeah, just one
Yep.
battery
And a saw?
and the power
Any
tools.
issues with this system?
So this particular battery is not actually quite strong enough to run some of the tools. Like this tool, I actually can't just hold the trigger and cut with it.
Okay.
But it's actually enough to, if I just kind of throttle it.
Did you just find that out just in experimentation? Okay.
But yeah, it's been enough to do this whole conversion.
And I see you got the great stuff, which is amazing. There's probably gallons of that inside the tiny home. That stuff is just. The only bad thing about that stuff that I remember is that after it's open, you only get 72 hours,
Right.
and then it'll kind of harden up, and the can's no good after that.
Yeah.
Unless they've changed the technology. It said when we used it, it was good for like 72 hours, and then after that, you had to kind of dump the can. But they're only like, well, I don't know, they might have gone up, but we paid like $3.50 a can when we bought them, and we bought like 30 cans at a time. So, and then we got the screws. Got the hammer in there. Got the jigsaw Black & Decker. Yeah, we had a Harbor Freight one. That was crazy. That thing would just turn on by itself when we were cutting sometimes. Yeah, no, we'd be walking by it and it would come on by itself, like it was something out of a Stephen King movie or something like that. But yeah, this is just amazing, and you're going to keep your weight down by not adding all the copper from the wire and the iron from the propane. And trust me, weight is a factor. I don't know what this weighs, but I can feel it's very light. The tiny home was light at one time too. It's not light anymore. So, but this is crazy. Any final thoughts?
It's definitely a lifestyle to look into. A lot of people are looking into it now, and a lot of people have solved a lot of the problems involved with van life living or trailer conversions, etc. So I recommend. It's working for me. Take a look at it.
Do you think in your travels, based on you, I'm just curious, this is something I've been thinking about, do you think that it will become, that there'll be like a flip trend where, before it was more people in houses and more people less than tiny, but now would we see do you think there'll be enough people who will actually be like, okay, I can do, because you hear about the tiny revolution, but I don't know about you in your travels, but in mine, I've seen one tiny home in the entire time I've traveled. Like one tiny home. I mean, that says something. Like, there's all these vans, these shuttle buses, these schoolies, these tiny homes, but where are they? I mean, like, if this is such a big movement, where are these people? And I've asked the question many times in many forums, and the answers are always different, but on my way here from Nebraska, I saw a school bus go by. And I knew right away it was green, and it had like a fold-down table outside and curtains on it. I knew it was a conversion. But that was the first one I've ever seen on the road in over 3 years.
Yeah, so it's been really hard to get tiny houses zoned.
Okay.
And so right now, the way to go tiny is a van or trailer conversion.
Okay.
And so I found out the hard way. I was going into tiny houses first, and the legalities around those was just a nightmare.
And they're heavy. They're big.
And,
they're not small. People think tiny homes are tiny, but they're not. One in Phoenix, we saw one in Phoenix when we were looking at a box truck for somebody, and the guy wanted $130,000 for it, and it was 16,000 pounds. Yeah, it was a beast. I sat and stood next to it. I couldn't believe how big it was. I mean, yes, it was on a trailer frame, portable per se, but I couldn't see you lugging that up the side of a mountain.
Oh yeah, you're not moving those much. Right now it's the van conversions are kind of where they're at, but as far as the tiny movement, it's not a technical problem. Like, we have the ability to build livable spaces for super cheap, right? It's a social problem. We have this legislation and these zoning issues that make it so that we can't, like, there's so much empty land out there. Tons of empty land.
Yes.
And the ability just to create, small living spaces on the cheap The only thing that's stopping us from doing that is legal issues from kind of outdated laws. So really what needs to happen is people need to say, hey, do you know what? I want to be able to start small, right? Out of college, I want to buy something the size of the apartment I was living in anyway, right, for super cheap and have some land to be able to build that on. And again, it's just zoning issues. So if people can start saying, you know, spreading the word of like, hey, let's change this up. Because again, it's not a technical issue. We have the ability and we have the land. It's a social issue. You know, it's the laws that are just making it so hard for people.
Do you think that there's I guess an attachment issue for some people? Like my ex-girlfriend, she's got a walk-in closet for just her shoes. Like, I mean, if you live this life, you're going to give something up. I mean, you're going to get something as well, but you're also going to give something up in the process.
Yeah,
and not everyone is prepared to do that.
Yeah, that's true. You know, my experience has been, I started to gather a lot of stuff without having a fixed place to put that stuff, and so I was constantly moving.
Okay.
And it's always a hassle, just all this stuff and not a secure place to put it. And so, yeah, if you go the mortgage route or the rent route, you're always going to have those payments coming up.
It's a cycle.
Yeah, it's a cycle, and it's a stress. You know, it's just a stress. You have bills to pay, sort of thing. Versus the alternative, where it's just like, hey, start small. Like it blows me away. Like even if you bought, you know, we're looking at $10K for these. So if you bought 5 of these, you'd have a really decent studio apartment. You know, and that's just $50K.
Yeah.
Right? So
people do those containers.
Yeah.
They put 3 of them together and they make a mansion out of the friggin' things for like $18K.
Yeah. Very decent, you know, studio-sized living spaces. So. Yeah, again, it's like it's not a technical issue; it's a social one that drives the prices up, that sort of thing. So
okay,
yeah, that's my thoughts on the movement. Hopefully, yeah, more people will start thinking about that and prioritizing. Just letting people build and start small and scale from there.
Now, just meeting you in a parking lot, I'm curious. Do you have any type of social media that people can follow about this, or did you not even do it? Is it just like a private thing?
Yeah. So I haven't started a social media yet.
Will you do so and give a name, or do you have anything thought of, or not even there yet?
Yeah. So I'm thinking of doing. Let's see. Nyofi is the NYOFI would be my channel. NYOFI.
NYOFI.
Nyofi. Yep.
Nyofi. What is the significance behind that?
So it's one of the only websites that was 2 syllables left when I found it. That's the significance.
Wow.
Yeah. That's hard to find.
No, I know.
Nyofi.
I know. Oh, I know.
So.
Try to find a two-letter domain name. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Wow, Marshall, this is incredible. And not only that, but you're doing it right in literally a parking lot in the home. Has anyone from Home Depot ever come out here, said anything to you, or have you ever run into anything?
Yeah, one guy thought it was really cool.
so that was your visit, an encouragement. That's awesome. Yeah.
It's cool that you can do. That you can make it work.
And we're not, by the way, we're not endorsing that. We're not endorsing. No one's endorsing building in a Home Depot parking lot, living in a Home Depot parking lot. The experience of this Home Depot parking lot, from me from the tiny home standpoint, and Marshall and some other people, has probably been unbelievable. But we're not telling 1 million people to come and build their houses in here. That's not. We're just saying that I'm going to steal a line from one of my favorite guys on YouTube, Bill and Deb. They're with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. A little plug for them. You can check them out. They're an older couple. They say, we're doing us, you do you. So that's pretty much how we're telling you. We're not telling you how to do it, how to design it, where to build it. Sometimes that's a challenge in itself. So, yeah, especially with the way the world is right now.
Yeah,
so.
For sure.
Well, Marshall, I really appreciate you talking with us. And thank you very much for showing us your space. And I don't know if you'll be here or if I'll be here when it's finished to come back and take a snapshot or something, but it doesn't look like it's going to take you that long.
Yeah, it's very close to the final form before I start putting furniture.
So you see how you got the panel here? Are you going to go this way or you stop there? Is it just for that piece? You're not doing it. Okay, so you're not doing it all. It's going to stay white here.
Yeah, this is all good.
Okay, I gotcha. This is awesome. I am super impressed.
Thanks.
Well, thank you very much for talking with us. And one more final question.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever told you look like Steve Carell?
Yes, I have.
So I'm watching. I was smiling the whole time going, I'm thinking of the guy from the 40-year-old version. And I'm like,
Yeah.
You must get that a lot.
I have gone it before. Yeah.
Well, that's a compliment, right? I guess. I don't know.
Related. I don't know.
Maybe it's possible.
Yeah.
Again, thank you, Marshall.
Yeah.
Stay safe out there.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. All right, well, that was Marshall from, Neophi, and you can check out his channel when he gets it created. I don't know when that'll actually happen, but literally building a tiny home / trailer conversion in the parking lot of a Home Depot. Some of the resourcefulness and the way the world has taken us, especially after the pandemic, has just has been unbelievable. So I'm going to sign off from now, but feel free to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more videos. As always, guys, thanks for coming along on the adventure. We'll see you next time on the Tiny Wonderland.